Hello friends, Metapod here. Welcome. It is now nighttime. I posted a video earlier today, though I'm not going to post this one today because on this internet it takes hours to upload to YouTube, and then there's the time that the video renders and everything, so I'm probably not going to have time to post this one today. Oh, I forgot to put my headphones in. But I had a bit of extra time tonight, so I decided I would make another video. Since I probably won't have a lot of time tomorrow and maybe in the next couple of days, I'm not sure. I will have something to post. Let's see. Yeah, I guess that's all for describing that. Last time I talked a lot about Kappa. And so I was thinking maybe I should pick some kind of topic and talk about that every time. But there are a lot of days in this game, a lot of play sessions for me, and I don't know if I can come up with that many topics because I'm not good at finding things to talk about. I'm surprised I was even able to ramble about one thing the entire time last time. But okay, here we go. We will sleep, and we'll probably still look miserable when we wake up. Yep. Let's see what's on TV. The music room. The tabla player is Sidak Khan. Holly will be our interpreter. Mr. Khan, when did you begin playing the tabla? What's a tabla? When I was 45, look at the symbols. Well, only 3 years ago, you certainly learned quickly. Not at all. It's a piece of cake, heh. I like the heh. The heh was still there. And how much do you practice every day? Let's see, around 30 minutes. That's not long at all. Now, Mr. Khan, won't you treat us to a tabla performance? Bang ticka ticka bang bang ticka ta, ticka ticka bang ticka bang ticka ta. Ticka ta bang ticka ta. Bravo, thank you so much. That was our guest today, the tabla player Sidak Khan. Thank you for tuning in. That was a strange episode. Oh, we need to look at the horoscope. Aim for straightforward communication. Today's lucky item is wild plants. I need those wild plants to eat. Okay, let's see. What time is it? It is 6:28. It's later than I thought. Let's go ahead and come over here and eat this mugwort that I see. If I can pick it up. There we go. Let's go into here. And so yeah, this time I was trying to think of what to talk about, and I really don't know. But I think what I'm going to talk about is Pokemon Sword and Shield. Because I've been playing that recently, and that's what I did today. On Wednesdays, I play Pokemon with my friends. We do max raid battles. And I've been playing Pokemon since the very first Pokemon. My name is from a Pokemon. I always forget that. I have to explain, oh yeah, I like Pokemon. My name is Metapod. So hopefully that should give you a hint that I like Pokemon. Yeah, I haven't been brushing my cow. Yeah, I don't have a brush. That's why. Yeah, this game was definitely an interesting one. I didn't follow the game at all before it came out because I wanted to play the game completely spoiler-free. Like, I didn't want to know what any of the new characters or towns or Pokemon or anything looked like, so that it would all be new, like when I played the original game, which my first game was Pokemon Blue, back in, what was it, 97? Like November, September, I think. It was in September because I got it before my birthday, and my parents were like, well, my mother who purchased it for me was like, okay, I'll give this to you on your birthday, after she bought it for me in front of me. And I was like, no, I have to have it now. And I did end up begging enough that I got it early. And so all my friends were playing, and I really wanted to play it. But so I've played every Pokemon game since then. I really like Pokemon. One of the first things my boyfriend and I bonded over was Pokemon, because I got him into playing it. Though I think he's done with it now. He's played a few generations. I think I don't think he likes it enough to warrant buying his own Switch. So I understand that. And anyway, so about Sword and Shield itself. The games, I guess, had a lot of controversy before they came out because, from what I understand, they made a lot of excuses for why certain content was not in the game or whatever, but then the excuses didn't seem to hold up. Like, I think they said that they were too busy creating new models for the Pokemon and things, but the Pokemon reused the same models and animations from Pokemon Sun and Moon and things like that. And the game is just, it's not particularly spectacular, you know. It looks like a medium budget game. So it seems like, you know, they were saying they couldn't put content in the game, like that's why there's only 400 Pokemon in the game rather than the entire roster of whatever it is, 900 or 1,000 something Pokemon now. But and the reasons they were giving for doing this just didn't seem to hold up, because they didn't seem to be putting much into the game, like in any aspect. And so people were upset. But I didn't know about this, so I went into the game not knowing this and not caring about this, because honestly, 400 Pokemon is more than enough Pokemon for me, even though some of my favorites like Nosepass and Probopass didn't make it into the game. Oh my gosh. Yay! Oh, I really need to fix the dead zone and make it bigger. What was I saying? So I was not personally offended by this. So I was able to enjoy the game quite a bit. But even then, the game is really lacking in content, I feel like. Unless you're a player who likes the competitive breeding aspect and everything. Otherwise, it's pretty much a straightforward run through some gems and then you're done. I am a player who likes the competitive breeding and training and playing aspect. So for me, it's a lot of fun because the wild area and the breeding and everything is great. But the actual like main single player experience is not so good. It's not terrible. Like, I think if you like Pokemon, I think you would still enjoy it. But it doesn't... Did I water the tomatoes? It feels very empty, and the story especially is really terrible. You know, and I hear a lot of people say, oh, but nobody plays Pokemon for the story, whatever. But Pokemon has had decent stories in the past, and, you know, certainly it's not the main reason to play the game, but they still have a story, and the story is expected to be there in some form or another. And this had almost no story at all. It felt like the game feels very rushed and unfinished. And part of it is this lack of a story. It feels like they didn't get done writing the story, so they just rushed the game out without the story in it. And the story like appears to come to some kind of climax near the end, but there's no build to this climax. It just kind of happens. And it doesn't really make a lot of sense. It just kind of comes out of nowhere because there was really no story leading up to it. And so this was very frustrating for me because I'm somebody who actually enjoys the story of Pokemon. I like the stories and the lore, the world building and things like that in Pokemon. This had very little. It's usually through the stories that the world building comes out. And because we didn't really have much of a story this time, we didn't get to learn as much about the region. Other than a few basic concepts. Like, it feels as if somebody sat at a table with some other creators and say, hey, let's base the story on this idea. And then they never actually wrote a story about it. They just had that idea, and that's as far as they went. And they didn't flesh it out or put any more development into it whatsoever, which is very sad. But that's what the game felt like, and a lot of the areas to explore, which this was a problem in Pokemon Sun and Moon as well, but the areas are extremely linear and simple, which isn't necessarily bad. Like in a game like Final Fantasy 13, it works really well. But in a game like Pokemon, where a lot of it is about the personal journey and that sense of discovery and exploration, not having anywhere to really explore and everything feeling like a straight line feels really out of place. And so that was a big disappointment for me. But in the end, it wasn't too big of a deal because the main thing I like about Pokemon is the post-game breeding and competitive play and things like that. So in the end, it didn't ruin the game for me because that post-game stuff is still really fun. And by post-game stuff, I mean the competitive breeding and training aspects. Yeah, that's my Pokemon Sword and Shield experience. It was it's really hard for me to say if I recommend this game or not. I think if you're a hardcore Pokemon fan who buys all the games and plays them anyway, that you'll probably like it. But then there's no reason for anyone to recommend it to you because you're already going to play it and buy it and like it anyway. I think if maybe you're new to Pokemon or something, this would be a really disappointing experience because it would feel so empty. And there would just be a ton of Pokemon to catch without any real feeling behind it. Whoops. But at least that's what the game feels like to me. Very empty. It feels like concepts were there and they made this skeleton of a game and then they never got around to filling it up with content and character and things that make the game more robust. It feels like they just put the basic ideas down and shipped it as a game. Which I can understand people being very upset about that, and honestly I'm disappointed in that myself, but as a game that functions as catching and breeding for stats and things like that, it does everything I need it to do, so for me it's not a terrible disappointment. I think that it's a shame that the game turned out the way it did, and I think that it's unfair to most people who play the game because the experience that they're wanting or expecting or expecting from the series is just not there. So yeah, I do think that's shameful and disappointing. But You know, it would be like if you bought some kind of really fancy food that is supposed to taste really good, that you have had lots of foods made by the same chef or patissier or whatever, and they've always tasted really good, and you buy the new creation that they made and it just tastes really bad, and they just threw some stuff together and didn't even try, and it doesn't even look good or anything. It's just like terrible food. Then you would be really disappointed. But if you're somebody who's just hungry and needs to eat, then you eat the food and you're full, and that satisfies you. So it doesn't really matter if the food is good or not. That's kind of what Pokemon is like. That for people who are really into this competitive breeding and training aspect of the game, after a while the old game dies down, and then you get hungry for a new one, for more experience like that. And so this satiates that hunger, even though it's not a very high quality product. I think I just came up with that on my own just now, but I think that's actually a pretty decent metaphor. Well, I'm like inside Garter. This is so strange. It's also my home. Okay, whoa. And I've tried giving him gifts before, but he doesn't seem to like them. Let's see if he likes... Oh, I have B level milks now. Let's see if he likes... Oh, the B level milk is... I was thinking those would be C level or something. Let's try giving him one of these milks. Yes, what about that? I'll take it if you're giving it to me. Go ahead. Alright, I'll take it. I don't know if he really liked that or not, but usually they won't accept gifts. I wish I had a little bigger tent. They won't accept things if they don't like them. So I'm going to assume he liked it. I still haven't figured out anything Flora likes. I don't have to necessarily work on befriending them right away, though. I think I want to work on befriending them as I progress through the game. So I don't know if already being friends with them helps influence your child, or if befriending them helps influence your child, or both. Oh, here's Daryl. He just like clipped through Gallon. Hello, I'm thinking right now. The like camera angles when you talk to people are so funny, and they're so extremely close up too. Like, oh, I missed Van's shop today. Oops. Okay, well, we'll give this skull to you. Look, he smiled. Are you giving it to me? Yes. Thank you very much. He took it today. Oh, he has a little necktie on. I don't think I noticed that before. Now let's see if we can find Gustavo. Oh, here's some flowers that we haven't picked. Are those flowers we can pick? No, those are just backdrop objects. Okay, let's try his house. Nobody's home. Let's look around, see if he's standing outside somewhere. No. There he is. Hello, Gus.
Yeah.
Peace, sister. Maybe I'll go play my guitar somewhere. I would like to give you a goddess drop. Hey, you've got something nice there. Is it for me? Yes, yes it is. Really? Groovy, man. Thanks. Okay. Then I'm going to wait until our tomatoes have come in, and then we will give those to Marlin. Hopefully he likes and takes tomatoes. If not, let's go see if he likes milk. It's getting very late. I still haven't taken care of my cows or anything. I hope we can even find him this late.
Yeah.
Oh, who's coming out? Oh, it's Marlin! Fancy meeting you here, Marlin. Don't you think this is a nice time of year? It's getting warmer. Sure. Do you like milk? Is that from your farm? Are you giving it to me? Yes. Cool. No, really, thanks. Okay, so he likes milk. We can use that as a fallback if he won't take our tomatoes. He's kind of handsome. And Gustafa is very cute. He's adorable. And then Marlon is quite handsome. Rock is stupid looking. He looks so annoying. Though I do appreciate the character's age in this game, and I do appreciate that he gets some wrinkles and his hair gets a little grayer. He looks a little nicer then, but I wish you could just marry Griffin. That would be superb. Opala's fine and seems healthy, and we're smiling, so we're doing better. Oh, that was the flower. I was like, no, I still have fertilizers? Ooh, I'm up really late today. This is no good. Yeah, so I think I've said about as much about Pokemon Sword and Shield that I can really say, so I can't remember if I talked about it or not. Yes, I'm pretty sure I did in the first video, but I want to, in this playthrough, get my kid to be a scholar. Because none of the spouse options have a child that is naturally inclined to be a scholar. Usually the child just ends up going with their natural inclinations. In fact, I've never had it be any different, and I've never seen anybody play and have it be any different, so I'd like to try doing that. So I would assume that the scholar ending is one that very few people have seen. Because people tend to not get to the end of this game because it's extremely tedious and doesn't really have enough content to warrant its length, and also because most people who do get to the end of the game are going to get one of the naturally inclined endings for their child. So, oh, it is so late, so late, so late. We need to get to bed. Oh, and I'm gooing, but I don't have any food. We'll have to eat when we wake up. My dog's not getting fed. We don't have enough stuff to feed him. Okay, let's save the game. And this is where we will end today. I will probably upload this tomorrow. It was nice to see you. And let me know how you're doing in the comments. It's been so long since I've seen a lot of you. It'd be nice to talk again. There's my little emulator thing popping up, my earbuds falling out. I hope you enjoyed. Give me some topics to talk about, seriously, because I don't know what I'm going to talk about in the next several episodes. I need some topics, so ask me some questions, or just tell me some subjects you like to hear about, and maybe I'll talk about those. But for now, goodbye. Metabot out. I will see you all around.